Ancestral wisdom, healing epigenetic ties. How much support and how much knowledge is behind you that's always been behind you, but at one point, going back 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, 2,000 years, the links of the gifts were cut off, or your ancestors were extracted due to colonialism from their lineage, from their qualities, from their virtues, and then other energies got into the system. So, this webinar, I really want to focus on the effects of colonialism, and I want to work deeply with any distortion within the ancestral line where alcohol came in, where abuse came into the system, because they were disconnected from their virtues. For example, the time where the midwives were extracted, and also accused of being a witch, where the lineage was broken. So I want to work specifically in these fields in this webinar to bring restoration in and to bring them back to their virtues, to bring you back to your virtues, to bring you back to your lineage and restoration of the absolute power of your ancestors without being tied to trauma bonds, without being tied to colonial disputes or intertribal disputes. So this webinar I feel is very important, which is happening on a collective level, is this extraction, exploitation, colonialism, and also abuse, self-abuse, abuse to ourselves, abuse to our communities. So there's a lot of wounds coming up in the system on the collective level. And for me, it's about realigning back to our true origin, back to the divine, the divinity within all of us. And that was there at one stage in our lineage. So let's, through the ancestral work, restore what is in our epigenetics, which is tying us to trauma, which is tying us to abusing oneself. And let's go deep. So these four webinars I'm going to work with, I'm going to work with going very, very deep into the ancestral lines to bring restoration and to bring the dignity in, the virtues back into your system, and to reawaken the powers of your ancestors, the powers, the wisdom, which is in you already. And maybe something got into the lineage. So this webinar for me is a very, very important work, embodiment of work, which I've been working with for years with the elders uh, and the First Nation. And these elders basically are elders where during colonialism, half the tribe went into the forest and then half stayed out and experienced the full devastation of the colonial system in Kenya. And then after the colonialism was finished, the tribe I'm working with then came out, the elders came out of the forest and they start releasing the wounds of colonialism and the impact of colonialism and cross-tribal disputes from their own, because if they knew that if they didn't clear their own, the cycle would repeat in their own and future children. So this webinar, I want to focus on colonialism disputes. I've been working with very, very honorable elders, and they're sharing their wisdom from thousands of years back and sharing this knowledge through the work that I've been doing and through the Mother Tree to open up a new paradigm shift on this planet to help us to restore the purity and the sacredness of the elders. This work for me is the most significant work and most respectful work and deserves respect. So I invite you, if you're sitting on the fence, this is not the one for you. I really, really want to bring honor and dignity into this work and to respect it. And those who show up will enter the field with honor and respect because this work was passed on from First Nation. If you're going through the lineage for minimum 3,000 years of people who were holding this ancient knowledge and passing it through to the next generation and now to us. So for me, I have a deep honor and respect. So when I stand here, I'm standing with the lineage of ancestors who basically went through the colonial system and cleared it from their system, and they're supporting in this work. And this is the embodiment of the work I'd like to open up in this webinar. This is a very, very respectful, honorable field. And It's about anyone who wants to go into their system and clear any of your ancestral corruption, distortion, any ties with any type of abusive energies, extraction, colonialism, as I say, or if you experience the imprints of colonialism within your ancestral line around the First World War, the Second World War, anything at all where anything came into the system which is disaligned with God. And let's bring restoration to to ourselves, and then to the ancestors and to the future children. For me, this is the only way we're going to make impact into the world. Work on our own system, work on our own selves. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is a deep work that is honored, respected, and ancient, and goes deep into the lineage and will work deeply through the emotional body and through the system, which is working on a cellular level. So I invite you, if you feel called to this work, I invite you to be part of this space, and we'll do this together. I invite you to be part of it if you feel this calling, or at a later date. Thank you.